Hey guys, I hope you're having a good weekend. Your homework this weekend was to complete the Lesson 6 notes. I'm putting this video on Google Classroom as well as just a PDF of my copy if you want to just copy it. Just make sure you kind of have a general understanding when we get to class on Monday. On Friday, we kind of rushed through this, but after the quiz, you were supposed to, given the formula for perimeter, or a formula for perimeter, substitute the given information into the formula and solve for the unknown. So if you noticed, over and over and over and over again, we were given the perimeter, the length, and we had to solve for the width. And so it's really annoying. You do the same thing over and over and over again. So my question was, is there an easier way to solve all these problems since they're asking for the same variable? And the answer is yes. I can just create an equation that's W equals, and then I can use that equation to just evaluate and get the width. So you guys wanted to distribute on Friday. I probably wouldn't have done that. So I want to take the time to show you guys. I would have just divided by 2 since it's 2 times the length plus the width. That gives us P divided by 2 equals L plus W. And then remember, I want to get W by itself. So I'm going to subtract L from both sides. So my width formula is P divided by 2 minus L. And the one you guys had on Friday was similar. It was P minus, 2L divided by 2. And if you share the love, that simplifies to be the same thing. P divided by 2 minus L, because the 2's cancel. So kind of cool. So what I did down here was I used the formula 3 different times, and you can see very quickly I'm able to just substitute in the perimeter, the length, and get the width. So I'll show you. For number 4, it said the length of a rectangle is 84, the perimeter is 21. Oop, that's backwards. The length of a rectangle is 21, the perimeter must be 84. What is the width? And so I'm going to substitute in my perimeter, 84. I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to subtract 21. So we get 42 minus 21, which is 21. All right, so if you guys would flip over, these notes are titled literal equations. So the top of this paper is just defining that for you guys. It says the formula P equals 2 times L plus W is called a literal equation. So right here, a literal equation is an equation that has 2 or more variables. That's it. Instead of just having X, you have X and Y. But we solve them the same way we solve a multi-step equation. So on the left, you guys can solve for X here. You know it's 2 times X plus 4, so I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. I get 2X equals 8. Then I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides, and I get X equals 4. Well, in example 2, or equation 2, I have AX plus B equals C, but I'm still solving for X. So similar to here, I'm going to first subtract B from both sides. Now, are C and B like terms? The answer is no, so I need to literally just write down C minus B. I can't combine those together. They're not like terms. And then I want to get X by itself, so it's A times X. So I'm going to divide both sides by A. And what you end up with is kind of a formula. X must be equal to then C minus B over A. That is a literal equation. Some people struggle with these because that is your answer. It looks a little weird, and some of you might not be used to it. It says formulas are just special types of literal equations, and we're going to solve for a formula in terms of one variable. This is really important when it comes to science. So in biology, you're going to solve for mass over and over and over again, so why not rewrite your formula so you have mass equals? Same thing in earth science and chemistry. You're going to solve literal equations. So I'm just going to go through these 4 examples, and then Monday we'll practice in class, and Tuesday we'll have a quiz on literal equations. Number 1 is that formula we used the other day, distance equals rate times time, and it says solve for R. So because I'm multiplying rate times time, I'm just going to divide both sides by T, and so I get R equals D divided by T, and that's it. Okay. Number 2, area equals base times height divided by 2. In case you forgot, that's the area of a triangle. So what I want to do is solve this area formula for H. So right now I have B times H divided by 2. The first thing I need to do is multiply both sides by 2. and that'll get rid of the denominator here. So we have 2a equals base times height. And then lastly, I want to solve for height, so I'm going to divide both sides by base. Okay, so height equals 2a divided by b. So if I were doing triangle problems and over and over and over again it was asking for the height and I was given the base and the area, I could just rewrite my equation really quickly and then just plug in. It's kind of cool. These last two are, this is volume of a cylinder, in case you're wondering. Volume equals pi r squared times height. I want to solve for r. We haven't talked about squared just yet, but you guys should be able to do that. The first thing I want to do is get r squared by itself. So if it's okay, I'm multiplying pi times r squared times height. So because that's all multiplication, I'm going to divide by pi times height. So I get volume divided by pi times height equals r squared. We haven't talked about the inverse of squaring, but think about it. 5 squared is 25, and then the square root of 25 is 5. So to get rid of this squared, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So my answer ends up being r equals the square root of v divided by pi times h. Okay, you can make a comment in Google Classroom if you have a question, or just come to class with questions if you're not sure how I did that one. All right, last one, solve y equals mx plus b for m. This should look familiar. I'm going to first subtract b from both sides. I'm trying to get to m, so I get y minus b equals x. And then at the very end, or mx, sorry. And then at the very end, I need to just divide both sides by x. So m equals y minus b over x. M stands for slope, which we'll talk about in a little bit. All right, feel free to comment if you have any questions, or email me if you have any questions. Monday, we're going to practice with whiteboards. You'll have some homework problems. Tuesday, we'll quiz. Our test, just so you know, is looking to be Friday of next week, so about a week away. Thanks. Have a good weekend.